My guest today first attracted public attention as a cricketer, then as a parliamentarian, and now his friends say he's likely to appear as a minister. So what's the secret of his phenomenal success? Luck, hard work, or talent? Find out for yourself as I introduce you to Kirti Azad. Welcome to the program, Kirti.
Thank you, Karan.
Now, you come from one of Bihar's best-known political families. Your father was a freedom fighter, and I gather he was also several times jailed and even beaten by the British.
Yes, he was. Whenever he tells us about all those days, how he went through that, how he used to run away from school, fighting against the British, had a bullet pass his leg, went to jail 6 times, 150 lashes on his back.
150 lashes?
Yes. Whenever I hear about that, I mean, still you can feel my the sensation that goes through the body. It was something very sensational. Got to learn a lot of things from him.
He went on to become the youngest MP in India's first parliament. He became a cabinet minister and chief minister of Bihar. Was it exciting to live with all this politics in your life?
Well, by the time I grew up, I had already got into cricket. And I would see that my father used to be only home during the session time, or maybe sometimes if he had any of these committee meetings. Otherwise, he was never here. He was all the time in his constituency. And I was playing cricket. So we never got to interact that much. But yes, he definitely had influence on me as far as discipline and other things were concerned.
He was a great disciplinarian, wasn't he?
Yes, I mean, whenever he used to come home, we used to say, hey, committee aa gaya. You know, you see these guys on the side of the footpath, you know, selling things, and they say, oh, the committee has come. So whenever he used to come, you used to feel, committee aa gaya, bhai, bhagwa side mein ho jao.
Was he a tough father?
Tough man, very tough man. He's a triple MA himself. He studied a lot. And he always wanted us to go on the right path and things like that. He always said there were 4 Ds that you should always follow. The desire, determination, dedication, and above all was discipline. So we had to stay there within that. 8:39, if he was home, we have to have breakfast. I have to go for my practice right in time. I have to go for my studies. I have to be in school. I should never be late. There should be no complaints against me and things like that. So there was too much of discipline at home.
Now, you took up cricket under the influence of your elder brother. In the beginning, therefore, was it a sort of copycat fascination for you?
Well, my brother used to play, so he said that, why don't you come along and play? And he thought that I was talented, I was a little, intelligent. I don't know if I was really, but he thought I could take on to a game. So he got me into it. And I thought, if my brother can play, I can also play. So let me go with him.
In fact, in those early days, there was a particular problem you used to have with the bat. You only wanted to play with a special type of bat, didn't you?
Oh, you've done your homework, really. Well, it was, my brother used to go with a big bat. And I had started playing at about 9, when I was 9 years old. And he used to carry his big bat to the National Stadium, where my coach, Mr. Gurcharan Singh, was there. So he took me along. I went with him. I had this small bat. And everybody else, all those senior chaps, are playing with big bats. I was the only one with a small bat. So I had this big problem. I had this ego problem. I said, why can't I play with a big bat? So I went and told my coach. I said, sir, why can't I play with a big bat? He said, you can't do it. I said, I can easily, you know, there's no problem at all. So he said, okay, can you pick this big bat with your left hand 5 times near your shoulder with one hand? I said, sure, why not? So I tried once. It was okay. Twice, yes. 3rd time I couldn't do it. I said, this is all rubbish. Why don't you ask me how to bat? So this is how it went.
Now, despite your father's best efforts to keep you on the straight and narrow, you were never above mischief in school, were you? And I gather there was an occasion when you had a terrific plan laid out to see the film Bobby, and it went disastrously wrong.
Well, it went right till we were caught. I must have been that must have been 75 or 76. Very young. I was about 15 or 16. And all of us decided that we must go and watch this movie. Delhi hadn't released it, but it was being shown in Gurgaon. So 5 or 6 of us decided that how do we plan it? We all pooled in money. We had about 70, 80 rupees with us. At that time, a ticket cost about 90 paise or something. You had to go to Gurgaon. You could take a taxi from here, go to Gurgaon and come back in 35 rupees. So everything was very nicely planned. In the meanwhile, somebody had seen us and the principal was informed. So he knew there are only about 5 or 6 or 7 of them who do these kind of stuff.
He knew you were behind it.
Well, he knew it, yes. So we came back. Next day went to school. And at about break time we were called. We didn't know. We didn't think that we were caught or whatever to the principal's office. All the parents were standing there. And I didn't realize that why they all are here. At home, we had said that somebody said I've got a house function, somebody said I have to go here and there and things like that. All those things were told at home. And then we were caught. And the principal asked us as to what has happened now. We didn't know what to do. I walked in from the back gate, as usual, late. And as I turned, I didn't know these people were there. I had gone out to go buy a Coke because we weren't getting it at school. So as I walk in and turn left, I see all the parents, everybody there with the principal standing. And I was caught. I just didn't know what to do. And that was it. That was the end of it.
It's amazing with this sort of active life around you, you still had time to play a proper game of cricket.
Well, yes, I was interested. I mean, it was a game which I was most interested in.
It was always your top priority, no matter what.
Yes, I was married to cricket. Even I was a minor though at that time.
In fact, you were captain of the combined Delhi schools team for a whole 6 years in the 70s, and during that period, you played a couple of matches with the Haryana boys, and the team there included a certain young Kapil Dev.
Yes, Kapil and I, yes, our association goes back as long as that.
You've known each other since you were virtually teenagers.
And at that time, I must tell you, Kapil Dev was a well-built guy. Even at that age, he had a full-grown beard and moustache, and we were just trying to shave and see, we get hard ones.
Okay, you made your debut in the Ranji side in 1977 when you played for Delhi against Punjab. You were barely 19 or 20. Were you nervous?
Well, I think I was. Whenever you go and play the first game, it's a very important match for you, and you always remember it. And we're playing at Amritsar. It was raining a little. And at that time, Punjab had a couple of guys who were actually vying for a place in the Indian side, like Ashwini Minna, who's now with the Punjab Kesari. So there were quite a few guys who were on that threshold of playing for the country. And that was my first game. It was raining. I got a 51 in that game, and I can't forget it.
But in fact, Ranji was always a good side for you because your great game was in the Ranji Trophy finals. I think it was 79-80 against Bombay, and you scored a swashbuckling century. Was that a real high moment for you?
It sure was, because I was playing against Gavaskar for the first time. I was playing against Sandeep Patil, Karsan Ghavri. There were these guys there in the side, who were playing for the country, and I used to really look up at them, as great cricketers.
You must have had them looking up at you after a while, because you got 4 huge sixes and 9 fours.
Yes, that was great innings, and I went from 82 to 100 with 3 sixes. And at that time, Paddy Shivalkar, Padmakar Shivalkar was playing. If Bishan wasn't there, he would have played for the country for a very long time. And that guy was bowling, and I hit him from 82 to 100. I went in 3 sixes. Next ball, I was out leg before.
This got you into the Indian side pretty quickly, and you made your debut for India in 80-81 in Wellington. That wasn't such a great hot success, but you made great friends with the captain, Sunil Gavaskar, who discovered your weakness pretty quickly, didn't he?
Yes, it is. That's a brilliant episode that ever happened. And yeah, to be very honest, between you and me and only the viewers who are listening to this, I'm very scared of ghosts. I was, actually. Now, even my kids, they make fun of me in these matters. It was somewhere in Australia. I think it was most probably Perth or Sydney. And I was a newcomer, obviously a fresher, like you have Pachas in university. And they knew about my weakness. So we, as usual, once a week we used to go out together, have a Sunday club and things like that. So I was told that, I was informed a couple of days in advance that we have to go out for dinner on that particular evening. I said, fine. So we had no plans. Everybody was going. And just about half an hour before we had to leave, I was told that it's been cancelled. So I said, now what to do? So I went into the restaurant, had my food, sat around there, chatted to a couple of guys, chatted at the bar, came back to my room. Generally, when I go to my room, whenever I leave my room, I keep the switch on, the lights on in my room. Obviously, for what. So as I entered, I saw that there was, the lights were off. And there was sudden movement in my room. I thought, this could be something wrong. I went in very quietly, just touched the switch, switched it on. And suddenly I see some hand coming in. I turn around and I see this ghost behind me, and I fainted. I just fainted. And after about a little while, I don't know how much time must have passed, I see Sunil, Sunny bhai there, I see other guys, just throwing water and saying, "Yaar, dekho, so kahin kuch ho nahi jaya." I thought it's just going to be a prank.
So underneath this huge big exterior is a little coward, huh? Next came the World Cup, and you had quite an important role to play in that major semi-final against England. I mean, you only took 1 wicket, but in fact it was your bowling that really pinned the British down. Is that a high moment, a proud moment for you?
Well, it sure was. I think I had just played 1 game or 2 matches before that in the league round, and I was playing that semi-finals against England. The sensation goes through me. I feel it. And it was, Kapil had asked me to come and bowl because England had lost a couple of quick wickets, but then they were going great guns. They had scored about 90 odd in about 15, 16 overs. 60 over matches were being played. The wicket was slow and low, but they were doing really well. And we had about an hour to go before lunch, and we thought, that he's just calling me in to fill in a few overs so that after lunch we might try and again with the serious bowlers. So I was called in from one end and Jimmy was called from the other end. We both got into bowl. We bowled about a quota of 6 overs each. I bowled well. I was very happy. I said, I've done my job now. So we came back, Jimmy, Mohindra Ramanath and I, we came back. So I asked Kapil, I said, Kapil, I'll take my shoes off. I don't think you need us because we bowled our quota of 6 and 6, 12 overs. So that's what you wanted. He said, हाँ ठीक है यार. So I said, can I wear my ripples? Ripples are half spikes and half rubber. You don't wear the full spikes. When you're fielding, you feel comfortable with it. Well, as luck would have it, when we went back after lunch, Kapil throws the ball at me, and I'm not prepared. Generally when the captain asks you to come and bowl, he tells you about a couple of overs in advance that you have to come and bowl from that end.
So what happened?
I was asked to bowl again. I got both of them. Straight away, he went back to cut me and he was bowled. Before that, Shrikant came up to me and said, come on, he said, don't be scared of him. Kya karta tum, darna nahi ji. I said, don't worry, I won't be scared of him. And I got his wicket. And then bowled 12 overs to 27, and I think Alan Lamb got run out. Jimmy bowled very well from the other end.
In fact, you ended up with a terrific score, 1 wicket, 12 overs and just 27 runs conceded.
Well, that was one of the best moments of my cricketing life.
Although, many of your fans would contest that. Some of your fans say that the high point of your career was just a couple of years later, in the very first day-night match against Pakistan in Delhi, when in fact you took all the wickets that the Indian side ever got.
Well, yes, 3 wickets fell. It was Mudassar Nazar, Mohsin Khan, and Rizahir Abbas.
3 for 29.
3 for 29 in 10 overs.
But in fact, it was when you came into bat that you really showed your mettle, because at that point India were tottering at 101 for 7, and suddenly you were the only hope left. Was that daunting?
It sure was. I mean, it was, you had about 100,000 people watching you, a lakh of people watching you throughout the game. And there's hushed silence because we play against traditional rivals, that is Pakistan. Nobody wants to be beaten to Pakistan. And we are 101 for 7. I had come in at 75 for 5. That moment of 101 for 7 is from where we started hitting really badly, hitting the Pakistanis badly, without a disdain, respect, no respect for them.
You got 71 unbeaten, didn't you?
Yes, I had 4 sixes also. And there was a hushed silence every time a wicket fell. But once I hit the first 6, it was absolutely transformed, the situation, and it was too good. I mean, I could just not explain in words as to how I felt.
Kirti, it was more than too good. Not only did you take India to victory, but in fact you weren't even meant to be playing in that match. You only got your chance because I believe Saeed Kirmani was unable to play.
Yes, I was to be dropped. Actually, this is fate. I think I believe a lot in fate.
You believe in luck?
Oh yes, I do believe in luck.
What about superstition? That's the other side of luck. Do you believe in that too?
Yes. I would never go across. If I see a cat crossing my path, I would never go. I'll take a detour for 5 kilometers.
So apart from being scared of ghosts, you don't like black cats either.
I would never walk under a ladder. So many things.
Kirti, let's take a break. I want to come back in part 2 and talk about all the amazing things you've done in the second career that you took up when you stopped being a cricketer. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Stay with us. Welcome back. My guest is Kirti Azad. Now, at the age of 34, Kirti, you quit cricket and took to politics. This time you weren't copying your elder brother, but you were actually following in your father's footsteps.
Well, yes, I had seen actually politics at home, although I was not that much involved. But I had seen my father working at home whenever he was around.
So the ambition had already started when you were a kid?
Well, it was, I think, more by chance. I was working with Steel Authority of India, with the Bokaro Steel. I was there working as deputy manager of sports and cultural activities. And I was working very hard in the office, going at least once a month to collect my paycheck because I was playing cricket all the time. But then I thought I was not doing justice. Once I had stopped playing cricket, I thought that it was not correct for me to go and earn that 20,000, 25,000 a month.
You felt you had to do something more.
Well, I thought I felt that I had to do something more.
But tell me something, why the BJP? Congress, after all, had been your father's party for decades. Didn't it feel a bit like disloyalty to join what was then the opposition at the time?
Well, I don't want to get political here, but I would definitely say that I still would bow my head in front of the Indian National Congress, which fought for the independence of this country. But then Congress is what? A congregation of people, where people from all walks of life, different parties, different ideologies were together.
Yes, and also you have your right to form your own political affiliation, don't you?
That's right. And I mean, I can't say that BJP is opposition, because I was not at all with any party. I was a cricketer playing for my country, doing my work as a public servant. But then I liked it because I liked the feeling. I mean, when I played for my country, it was, I was playing for my country. There was no caste, there was no creed, there was no religion. We were one people, one country, one nation.
And you wanted that feeling again?
I wanted that feeling.
Tell me something then. You got into the Delhi legislature in 1993. That was the first time that you actually held elected office. Was that fun?
I think it was fun, but it was also hard work, because it was the first time Delhi was considered a state and they had an assembly. And we had to do a lot, in the sense that I was a member from the Gold Market area, which was under the NDMC, which was not under the Delhi government, but still I was an MLA. So there was a lot of problems between the agencies like the NDMC or the Delhi State. Delhi State had no authority.
And you were involved in sorting all these out?
Yeah, but I worked, I enjoyed it. I did my job as a professional, as I did in cricket.
I'm told that although you're an MP today, you were very reluctant to join the Lok Sabha and that L.K. Advani had to actually persuade you. What was your hesitation about?
Well, first of all, the thing was that I was in commentary. I had worked a lot in my constituency. Unfortunately, I lost thanks to the onions and all those things that had happened. But I take winning and losing as a part and parcel of life. Because you win some, you lose some, but you should never get deterred by all this.
So was your hesitation partly at least to do with the fact that you weren't really sure in your mind you wanted to be a full-time politician, and being an MP meant just making that final step?
Just about. You could say that, but then I had chosen a path. I had left my job. I had left cricket. And I had thought of something. I mean, I did commentary as well in between. I was doing a television commentary. And just before I was asked to contest elections, I was doing commentary for Doordarshan during the World Cup last year. And as I came back, I didn't want to go to Bihar, to be very honest with you. I never lived there till I was egged on by the chief.
So events sort of pushed you in that direction.
Yeah, he said, you're from Bihar, you should go there. People like you, if you people run away from Bihar, how the hell do you think anything can happen there?
So it was a challenge also?
It's a challenge. So as a sportsman, I said, okay, fine, let's take it.
Okay, tell me this. Today, you're not just an MP, you're also a cricketer, and we're in the middle of this match-fixing controversy and the general concern about cricket. Why aren't you a sports minister?
I don't think so. Everything as a minister. I don't think so. India needs a sports minister. You need somebody like a chief.
Do you want to be a minister?
Well, everybody is ambitious to become something or the other, but I think it's not even a year before I've got into national politics. I think I'll have to do a lot of work.
So you have to wait your time.
But I have to wait my time, and there's nothing wrong about it.
Absolutely.
I mean, if I'm good enough, fair enough. But when you talk about sports, I would simply say that you need somebody like a chief executive officer for sports. You don't need somebody like a minister of sports. You cannot felicitate. That's why you have associations. That's why you have boards.
Tell me this, is it just a coincidence that the two professions that you've been such a serious part of, both today seem to have fallen badly in the public eye?
Well, I think that's sad. That's really sad. I mean, as a cricketer, I could always say that, we were very clean. We're out from all these kind of muck that is there.
In fact, tell me this, which of the two professions has better people, cricket or politics?
It's a difficult question to answer.
Okay, let me reverse it. Which has more crooks?
That's a good one to ask, but I can't really. I think every profession has a crook, and I think go to any profession you'll find you good guys, you got bad guys, but it depends on how well you can influence your goodness on the others.
You're on record saying that you admire the fact that Hansi Cronje admitted to his wrongdoing in public. Is that true?
Yes, I think I admire his guts. I mean, after all, had he said, no, I have not done anything, fair enough, you've taped, anybody could have mimicked my voice.
But he had the guts to stand up and accept it.
Well, I think that is what few people, if at all they're involved from India, they should do too.
Do you think so?
Yes, why not?
There's a real lesson there for Indian cricketers.
Yes, definitely there is. There is, definitely. I mean, after all, who doesn't want to earn money? I want to earn money, but I don't want to earn money through bad means, through selling my country, through selling my own people, selling their feelings. I mean, after all, what is the game of cricket?
And if this is a lesson for Indian cricketers, then is there a lesson here also for Indian politicians? Should they also accept their mistakes and use that as a way of cleansing the image of politics in India?
I think not only cricketers, not only politicians, not only IAS officer, IPS officer, anyone and everyone, if at all, they're into this, they should come out clean. I mean, after all, you do it for your country. So at least feel something for your country.
Okay, let's talk very briefly about your own personal life. You got married in 1986. I gather your mother tricked you into it, is that right?
Well, actually, I had come back after playing from Bangalore. I was playing a Dilip Trophy match. And my mother at that time used to be hearing all the time somewhere in the tabloids, you know, he was going around with so-and-so, going around with so-and-so, this is happening, that is happening. And she was scared, and I was at a marriageable age. I was 26 years old. And she called me and said that I'm not feeling well. She's got a problem with a valve in her heart, which is small, and she at times, you know, feels very ill. So she called me and said, I'm very ill, and you got to come me. I don't know what's going to happen to me. So I got scared. I said, okay, Mom, I'll come by the morning flight, leave by the evening flight. So I hope you don't mind. I'll see. But if it is an emergency, I'll stay back. I'll take you back to, bring you back to Delhi. So I went to Patna and I see her, she's laughing, aha, you've come, I'm so happy, you're looking fine, you've weakened a little, and what has happened to you, as mothers are, you know. So I said, Mom, I'm perfectly fine, tell me what's the problem. She said, no, you've come here, mera valve theek ho gaya, I'm perfectly fine, there's no hassle. So I got a little angry, I said, listen, I have to practice, I've got a Sharjah thing going on, I have to perform here to be selected for the Sharjah trip, and you've called me, wasted my day, my practice and everything. She said, no, Acha, you tell me you're going again, you're all the time so busy, I don't see you. Now tell me, have you decided about a girl whom you want to get married to? I said, Mom, I have not decided about anything whom I want to get married to. She said, what if I see a girl for you? I said, you see, whatever you say, I'll do, but let me go. I'm getting delayed. She said, no, you promised me. I said, okay, I promise. She said, okay, put your hand on my head and say that whatever I'll say, you'll do. I said, yes, Mom, whatever you say, I will do. So she said, okay, you got little time. Why don't you go? I have already seen a girl. By this time, I knew I was absolutely cornered. She had clean bowled me. So I went and saw Poonam, and I said, Pata nahi kisko, whom she's seen, and you know, I don't know what's going to be it like. So I go to this Patna Women's College. My mother had seen the girl, my maternal aunt, my mommy had seen the girl, my cousin sister had seen the girl. The girl didn't know that I was going to come and see her. She didn't know that, you know, we are looking for her. Poonam. And there I went, I saw her, I was floored.
So she bowled you?
Got, yes.
Twice bowled in one day, once by your mother and once by the girl who became your wife.
That's right. Two of the most lovable women I have.
You've been married 14 years and you have two sons. Do you think your mother made the right decision?
Yes, I think so, yes. I think I'm very happy with Poonam, the kids, the way she looks after the house. I mean, I'm never home. When I was playing, I was never home.
So as they say, Mummy always knows best.
Oh, yes, sure.
Kirti, for a wonderful interview. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Karan. Thanks very much. That's been lovely.